Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin and today we are back at SeaWorld Orlando, but not for a construction update. As most of you already know, Hurricane Milton is on its way to Orlando. It's going to hit Tampa Bay first as a Category 3 hurricane, and then it's supposed to hit Orlando as a Category 2. So let's go take a walk around the park, see what changes and preparations they're making for the hurricane, and see if we can find anything else new going on. So let's go. It is very quiet here at SeaWorld Orlando today. Like, very quiet. All of these stalls by the front gate are getting ready to be packed up and moved over to the back of house area, so that way they're nice and secure. They packed up some of the metal detectors already. Now they're stowed away for safety. The photo booth at the front of the park is already starting to be all wrapped up in preparation for the storm. Over at guest services, all the awnings have been taken down and tied up. Also, all of the TVs behind the agents over there have been covered up. So SeaWorld Orlando is now scheduled to be closed on Wednesday and Thursday, so tomorrow and the following day. And then they are anticipating opening on Friday. It just depends on how much damage there is in the area. Now they are also closing early today. Originally they're supposed to close at 6, now they're closing at 5 for preparation. So since it is Spooktacular time of the year, they do have a full map of where all the trick-or-treating locations are and a bunch of the events. They also have this really cute photo op. I love this. This is adorable. Over by Manta and the Flamingos, this game over here, the fan is now covered up, all the prizes have been removed, and basically the whole thing is gone. The Dippin' Dot stand over here as well has been completely sealed up. The phone has even been wrapped up. I am very surprised though that this portal is still up, even though it isn't inflatable, so I'm sure it's very, very quick to take down. So the pirate ship is now back for Halloween Spooktacular. I'm curious to see if this is actually going to get removed and then placed back, but it looks like it's pretty heavy, but with 100-mile-an-hour winds, they're probably going to get rid of it. As you can see, a lot of the stuff for Spooktacular right now is sealed up and ready for the storm. So a bunch of the signs and flags are starting to be removed for Halloween Spooktacular and placed inside this hut. The dolphins are very active today. I would not be surprised if all of this got removed for the storm. Actually, it looks like they already started. Part of the stage background is already gone. This also looks like it's probably going to get removed very, very soon. Another stall has been emptied all out and wrapped up. Now, I will say there are a bunch of these little trick-or-treat stands all around the park. And I don't know if they are just like sealed up because it's not Howl-O-Scream right now. Well, sorry, Spooktacular. But also just might be because of storm prep. So I keep an eye on that for the future. But as of right now, they're basically completely dismantled. Also, it looks like they're doing a scavenger hunt again, which is awesome. This was a lot of fun last year. So this area will definitely see these props removed. They are not going to sustain a Category 2 hurricane. Over by Antarctica, the basketball game, everything's gone. So one thing a lot of people don't think about in Florida parks is the fact that a lot, not all, but a lot of the benches and trash cans are made of concrete. So that way, during storms like this, they don't have to move them. Also, this mural looks like it was just recently done. It's very shiny. Looks fantastic. The Welcome to the Bottom of the Earth sign has been removed. All of the awnings in Antarctica have been removed. So the restaurant over here, all sealed up for the storm. Over at the Sea Lion and Otter Stadium, the umbrella's been removed and the phone has been tied up. All the umbrellas have been completely removed from voyages as well. While there's no sign that says it because it's been removed for the storm, Sky Tower is closed, unfortunately. Womp womp. They're pulling a bunch of the queue lines and placing them in little hidden areas so that way they don't get blown away or cause any damage. So last time we were over here, it was because there was construction walls for a new haunted house. I know I am pretty late to the game, but it's called Atlantis Journey Below. It actually looks pretty cool. Now this is another one of those things where I'm not quite sure if it's because of Howl-O-Scream that it's covered up or because of the storm. So the paddle boats have been all collected, tied together, and attached to the dock so that way they don't drift into the middle of the lagoon. Also, all of these awnings have also been removed. So another thing that Florida parks do because of hurricanes is they actually, instead of having to wrap the lights, they put those barricades around them so if something were to hit it, they don't get destroyed. Also, a lot of the banners have been removed. So Infinity Falls is definitely going to be closed for the day. The only reason I know that, if you look right over there, parts of the station have been prepared for the storm. The main reason they probably closed it so early is because they want to get rid of all the tarps over the queue line. So as you can see on the bridge right here, those are gone, and they still need to remove the yellow ones over there as well as the orange. I also wouldn't be surprised if they removed the ones on the station roof too. And while it's really hard to see, some of the control panels inside of the station have also been covered up. You can tell that the banners under the sign have been removed as well. It looks like they're actually closing the past member lounge really early as well, which is unfortunate, but understandable. I will say that SeaWorld does a fantastic job with their theming for Howl-O-Scream. Over at Dockside Pizza, all the banners and umbrellas have been removed as well. I will say, walking through the park, it's kind of eerie when they're doing stuff like this because typically Orlando doesn't really get hit with major hurricanes. Granted, yeah, we are in Florida. We always have the possibility of getting hit by one, but typically it just doesn't really happen. Like every time we're forecasted for one, it ends up being a tropical storm at most. But this one, I don't know. Everyone agrees that it just feels different. Everyone's a little bit more worried. Everyone's a lot more concerned, especially since this is basically, as of right now, going to be a direct hit to Orlando as a Category 2. Sometimes they say it's Category 3, sometimes they say it's Category 1, but the common consensus is going to be a Category 2. So everyone's just a little bit more worried, and hopefully everything ends up being okay. Another thing that actually has a lot of people concerned as well is flooding. And typically in Orlando, I mean, you might have some isolated flooding, but we're not next to any major waterways or anything like that. Like, we're not next to the ocean. So flooding isn't normally a super big concern, but they are anticipating that we're supposed to get over a foot of rain, at least as of right now. That can obviously change between now and then, but as of right now, they're just saying it's going to be roughly around a foot, and that's a lot. And they are very concerned if our sewers and storm drains can actually handle that much in such a short amount of time. So one rumor I'm hearing about is inside of Sesame Street land, but until I hear a little bit more information, I'm not going to talk about it. But you just know that there might be something happening to this land very soon. I will say I am very surprised that lights like these are not covered up quite yet, but they are closing early, so I'm sure this is going to be a priority for them. The awning over the sitting area as well as over the play structure have been removed. They're also packing this game up as well. The awning over Slimy Sliders has also been removed. And same thing over at the beer garden. I will say, props to SeaWorld for being very efficient with removing a lot of stuff before the storm. Like, I really didn't think a lot of the awnings were going to be taken off this early, but good for them for doing it because now it gives them more time to do other things. So I lied, I had to come over here anyway, so I'll film a quick little update. So as you can see from the outside of the show building, there's not any real changes quite yet. Or maybe at all, who knows? So since my last update, one major announcement happened, and they finally announced that this is going to become a flying theater. They did not name it, but they did announce it's going to be a flying theater, which is really exciting. So in my last update, I was super excited because they added these new banners to Wild Artic, but they've been removed. And honestly, it is because of the storm, but I do hope they come back very, very soon. There are no changes over here as well. So over by the Coke Freestyle machines, there are a ton of props, lighting effects, smoke machines, rigging, all of that being stored for the storm. All of the lights have been removed from the top of Altitude Burger, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this stage, as well as these two stages, are removed by the end of today. So speaking of Altitude Burger, all of these have been wrapped up and attached to the support, so that way they don't blow away. Over at Bayside Stadium, a lot of the Christmas celebration decorations are being stored, and it looks like they're getting wrapped up again. So something happened with Kraken. There's a bunch of maintenance workers at the top of the lift hill. Shouldn't be too much longer until these flags are removed as well. So not a ton has been removed over by pipeline just yet. So these signs seem to be the only thing that have been removed from Carneyville Pier so far. A lot of the bar stools are being removed from Flamecraft. So like I said earlier with the trash cans, the can itself is going to be staying there, but the liner and the trash bags and the lids, those will be getting removed. And as you can see, they're starting to prep it, so that way later on they can just take the liner out and they can leave. Over at the express ticketing kiosk, all of the planters for security have been moved, the kiosk has been turned off, and they are being stored over here for the storm. Security, as you can see, it's about 1 or 2 metal detectors, and that's it. Besides that, they do have police watching the gate, make sure no one gets through without going to security. Alright friends, so that's going to do it from SeaWorld Orlando. As you saw, not a ton of progress over at the construction site, but tons of progress over in the hurricane prep department. Lots of props have been removed and been put into storage, so I'm very proud of them for making sure they're doing this very proactively, so that way they can get this stuff back up as soon as possible. In terms of the storm itself, like I said, it's probably going to be a Cat 1, Cat 2 over in this area with tons of heavy rain. So we are probably going to get some flooding, some storm damage to an extent. It's probably not going to be as bad as everyone really thinks it's going to be. Hopefully it's not. But over at Tampa Bay, in that general area, they're going to get hit very, very hard. So let's keep them all in your thoughts. Make sure that everyone gets out of there safely and make sure that there's very minimal damage as best as possible anyway. But anyway, with that being said, hopefully you like what you saw. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. See you all in the next one. Stay safe. Bye.